We are no one. We are everyone. And we are invisible. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock.
We convinced ourselves that they were gone, but they were just hibernating.
Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock.
They came for everybody. Oh, please.
Are we safe?
I guess we have ourselves a reckoning.
What are you two talking about?
Oh, nothing. Just the end of the world.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the AwardsWatch Emmy Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Anderson, as usual, and I have some special guests today, some returning guests today. I have Amanda Spears and Kevin Jacobsen. Hello, both of you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
What
you
a
guys?
time.
How are you guys doing?
How is anyone really?
Exactly.
I mean, what is there to even say? How to begin?
How to begin? We are beginning with awards talk in the time of Corona right now, and we are all self-isolating, which is kind of like a podcaster's dream in a certain sense. It's a bit of a freelancer's normalcy. But I want to, before we kind of get into this Emmy conversation for what it's worth, kind of get an idea of where each of us are and what our experiences have been. I'm up in Northern California, and we just had a shelter-in notice come in for midnight last night, so we are hunkered down with food and toilet paper and alcohol, which is really, again, all a podcaster and a freelancer needs. But I live in a very small town, and it's easy to get, small pockets of paranoia, and people do that. People get really weird and nervous, and it starts to feel like Bird Box. But I think as long as people are able to manage financially, it should be okay. But that is certainly something that has come up for many, many people. So I want to throw it to you guys and kind of get an idea of where you are right now and what your experience has been. Kevin, why don't you go first?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing for me has just been the uncertainty of it all and just the lack of consistency in terms of, our leadership here in the US, of how to proceed, and things are changing every day, and there's inconsistent messaging, and it's just this worst feeling where it's just like you don't know what the end point is, you don't know where this is going, and so you're just sort of hoping for the best and doing what you can to protect yourself and your loved ones, and hopefully people are doing that. I mean, you're seeing people on the news just like hanging out at the beach or doing whatever, and it's just frustrating to see those kinds of things. But I mean, for me personally, I haven't necessarily had that level of like major impact to my own day-to-day life, just because I primarily work from home anyway, so that hasn't been like this major adjustment. But still, just this fear of even going outside and interacting with anyone has just been really just this bizarre, almost dystopian kind of world at this point. And all of these cancellations, the fact that you can't go to a movie theater literally at all. It's not even just, an option that people could do. They're closed. It's just the seismic impact is something I am still trying to wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
And I just am at a loss right now. So let's talk about the Emmys, right?
Exactly.
Something
And-
I can control.
exactly. And Amanda, how's it going for you?
Well, I'm in Ohio, so basically everything is shut down, and it's when they say, oh, it's a freelancer's dream. Well, yeah, but usually in that dream, you can go to a restaurant, you can go out to
Hmm.
eat, you could go shopping, you could do something. We're basically just stuck at home, so it is frustrating, and yeah, I get a little cabin fever,
Yeah.
but there we are. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at with this. But yeah, I think like with other things being canceled, the Emmys probably will not be, because there's just been too much TV already this year and too much ready to already go that it wouldn't be responsible to cancel them.
And that takes us right to the podcast conversation, which is about this year's Emmys. And pardon me. And I think you're right for the most part. It's a very different environment than movie theaters, and there is so
Or
much.
even the Tony Awards.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not a public venue thing. We have television. We've had already studios that are putting their product to streaming ahead of schedule to counter that. We do have one uh, uh, bit of collateral damage of this year's Emmys, and that's the new season of Fargo, which was supposed to debut in April but had to shut production down, and they will not be able to finish in time to finish the series and air enough episodes. So that's one that will have to get pushed to next season. But we still
And even
have,
that's not a bad thing. I mean,
well,
when you think about the fact that the limited series race, you only have 5 series nominated, that makes it a little less crowded.
true, and that is a really crowded race this year. It's a good one. I love it. Kevin just did his piece about the lead actress race for limited series, which honestly is like a better lineup than I think any Best Actress Oscar season in forever.
It's phenomenal. I
Yeah.
know.
I am so excited because Mrs. America, I mean, that
Mhm.
Octavia Spencer series debut soon. She could sneak in and take it. You never know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun race. I mean, the only thing that we know for sure is with Fargo out is that at least there's probably one spot in lead actor, and now
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
one less limited series in the race, and next year might be a slow year. You just never know. So it might not be too horrible for FX because they do have Mrs. America, so they can focus on that. They won't be torn.
I was thinking the same thing that I mean FX is really good at the Emmys. But yes, they will
Yeah.
be able to push everything to Mrs. America. And we also now know that Watchmen is in limited series because it won't be returning.
Oh my God.
And obviously, since we are on this category, this is where we should kind of look into. Did anybody catch the first episode of The Plot Against America?
Yes, it was really good.
I thought it was amazing.
And it's their first Monday show that I think will really have a chance at multiple Emmy nominations.
Yeah, I mean it's anything that's a period piece automatically, gets a few extra numbers in there for costumes and production design that contemporaries don't really get as much. But yeah,
It's funny because HBO and FX have been trading custody of this award, like they're divorced parents for the past like decade and a half. So technically it is FX's turn to win, but Netflix obviously is going to have something to say about that. HBO is going to have something to say about it.
well, HBO has Watchmen and Plot Against America and The Undoing. So they're gonna have their hands full. But we could also see something like Years and Years, which is the most frighteningly topical show,
Oh my God.
make an impact.
Yeah.
I would just say on the Plot Against America, I would be careful just because it's a David Simon show, and David
Yes.
Simon shows do not do very well at the Emmys.
They're
Yes.
not
But-
known to, but you never know. This might be the one that breaks through because you saw the same
Yeah.
thing with like Amy Sherman Palladino, whereas like she never gets the attention she deserves, and then bam,
Right.
Emmy, 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 Emmy. And there is a timeliness to this in an election year that could help it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Netflix has two really good ones themselves.
Yep.
It's gonna be a really tight race.
Yeah, I think the focus and the attention on Unbelievable, and because it was already able to benefit from SAG nominations, I think puts it in a really good place. But then we have another Ryan Murphy series in Hollywood,
God.
and that's also something that's
Yeah.
should have something. It'll do something.
Yeah, they usually do something, and I mean, just looking at that cast, you're like,
Well,
yeah, I think that might be the one. I mean, Netflix has never won a series award, and they want that really, really badly.
they should have won last year.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that one, but yeah, they oh, that was a disappointment. But
Yeah.
they should. They're going to have at least 3 themselves. Then you have got HBO with 3.
Mm-hmm. And then Hulu has Little Fires Everywhere, which they
That won't get
they
nominated.
debuted a day earlier. Probably not, but it's in there.
I don't think so. I think it'll be like Catch 22.
Hmm.
I don't think it'll get nominated.
I'm not sure. Well,
I've already seen more excitement for Little Fires Everywhere than anything I saw with Catch 22.
Yeah, by
Well,
a long
yeah,
shot.
but I just think that's partially because we're all cooped up and we're like, let's watch that.
Yeah, which could actually help.
That could
Who
help,
knows,
but
you know?
that's yeah, they might as well have just released all of it because
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
But
this
I will just say, having seen a few of those now, that Kerry Washington, I think, is really phenomenal, especially in that. I mean, Reese Witherspoon is kind of doing a Reese Witherspoon kind of Madeline character, similarly as Big Little Lies. But yeah, I mean, I think Kerry Washington could certainly benefit from maybe if something happens with Genius, which also had to shut down production.
yeah.
If that doesn't have enough episodes to air, then maybe Cynthia's out. That could certainly benefit.
Yeah,
one of the Little
I've
Fires
seen
people.
yeah, I think that's the big question is whether that one gets in because for Genius, with especially since they're doing Aretha Franklin, they want to be first. They don't want to follow the Jennifer Hudson movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
I've seen
definitely a timing thing.
I've seen 7 of the 8 episodes of Little Fires Everywhere, and I really liked it. I think it's really good. It does get a bit repetitive, but I think Witherspoon has a more interesting arc than Washington. Washington kind of stays the same, whereas Witherspoon, I don't want to spoil any, but I mean, she's already this kind of comically white savior, upper middle class woman. But what happens with her becomes a little more, I don't know, maybe just say diabolical.
Mhm.
And it gives her some more interesting stuff to work with. But yes, it is at the same time, it's a performance and a role that Witherspoon could do in her sleep because she's done versions of it so many times.
Yeah. And I don't know if that helps or hurts, to be honest.
Well,
It's
she's
not
got
gonna
that, the
help.
morning show and Big Little Lies. She's
Yeah.
everywhere. She's everywhere.
Yeah, it would help if she played. Well, I don't. Yeah, it would help if she played a different character. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a fun race. I mean, Caitlin Dever, Merritt Weaver, those are 2 people who, God, if one of them could get in, that would be incredible just to be in the company of people. They would be nominated again.
Do you think they both could get in?
That's what I
Um,
had in my initial predictions, as you saw in
I
that
think
article.
I think they should both get in. I think that we'll have to see what happens with Arrivo. If
Yeah.
they can somehow squeeze her in, I think Arrivo would probably bump one of the two of them. It's just hard to say.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, again, this is this is now a category that is so stacked with Oscar
Yeah.
winners. Oh my God. Regina King, Kate Blanchett, Reese Witherspoon, Octavia Spencer, Helen Mirren, Nicole Kidman. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
see, that's the
it's
that's
tough.
the name I wouldn't. That's the name I would not. I would almost like Meryl Streep put in there automatically as Helen Mirren. She has won this category like 7 times.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
I'm
Like,
I'm
you
surprised. I'm
cannot.
surprised she's not higher on some people's list because she's absolutely that type of TV default.
If yeah, if there's a tie, like if there's 7 and she's one of them, I'm like, there's your reason why. They always nominate her. They love her. Remember, they nominated her for Phil Spector. She's
Yeah.
yeah. One thing that gives me hope that maybe they're going to leave her out is she did not get a SAG Award nomination, and
Yeah, which
that
loves
seemed a
her the
little
most.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they.
Yeah, that was definitely surprising.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at someone like Toni Collette, yeah, she's in a really good position right now
Hmm.
as kind of the front runner for supporting actress.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably
Because I
true.
mean, she's going to
Yeah,
win. I'm
looking
just
at
saying,
it.
if you're looking at the side, she's the only one from a supporting role that got nominated, so that's a really good position to be in. Like right now, I don't know who's going to win lead actor, but right now I have to put Russell Crowe in first because I haven't seen enough. I don't think he will win, but he's there. I mean, that's another one we didn't even mention, the Showtime. They're
Yeah.
Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
Which sort of got lost in the shuffle, even though
Yeah,
he did get those
Bombshell.
nominations. But yeah,
Yeah, with Bombshell. That's why Genius is probably like, we got to get it out.
Right.
Even if it's not completed the way they want it to.
Yeah.
It would almost be better to air most of it than not, and then have Arrivo complete. Wouldn't it be funny if Cynthia Erivo won that Emmy and Jennifer Hudson was snubbed at the Oscars?
It's a more likely scenario than a lot of others, but yeah.
I know. Yeah, but they want to be first. They don't want to follow the movie with everyone comparing it to the other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's take a look at limited series actor because it's not quite the same as actress in how it's like super packed.
It's
do
still
you have-
pretty packed.
it feels like it's not in the same way to me. I think you're right about Russell Crowe, although he also sort of feels like the only one that is the likeliest to get in. But there's Mark Ruffalo, Hugh Grant, Hugh
Playing
Jackman.
twins.
Who's playing twins?
Mark Ruffalo.
Is that a limited series or is that a
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say I would not put my money in on anyone in a TV movie.
At this point, yeah, after last year.
Yeah.
Well, even after like Laura Dern, after her Emmy win, and everyone thought, oh, she's going to win, and they gave it to Regina King for a canceled series. Like, yeah, let's just not bet on anyone in a TV movie right away.
I still love that Regina King win. Everybody was like, "What?"
Yeah, she looked like really shocked. Like, what?
And
the
they gave her a
hell?
standing ovation, even though they probably didn't even watch it.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I
They're like,
just
he
loved
was
it.
good at that. Chuck.
So is Hugh Jackman kind of the Laura Dern then here, where it's was going to get a theatrical release and then pulled to go to HBO?
Probably. I mean, he probably will get nominated. Now, depending on how competitive this is, never say never. I don't think Aaron Paul's going to get in.
I do think he is.
I do
don't.
as well.
I don't.
Yeah.
I would almost.
Because he
you know what
also
I
has
think if they're gonna do
Westworld.
that, you know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to put Andrew Scott in his place for Black Mirror.
Huh.
Defend yourself.
Please.
They love Black Mirror. It's still an original. How many times is it one TV movie now?
Like 2.
2.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we know they're watching it. They don't usually love revivals. I mean, so for me, it's like they don't love revivals. They've already awarded him 3 Emmys for playing the same role. I think he's the one who gets snubbed, and then look out for someone like Andrew Scott, who they effed up not nominating him last year, and they sneak him back in.
Yeah, Afterglow.
Yeah, and that's not even including because we haven't seen Hollywood yet.
Yeah.
So we really, and look out for someone like Sacha Baron Cohen as that one, the nomination for that series for The Spy from Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre Holland for the Eddie, which we haven't heard too much about, but it's Damien Chazelle, so.
And Jazz.
And Jazz, of course. Well, I said Damien Chazelle already. I didn't want to be
Idris Elba. I know everybody doesn't want to talk about it, but Idris Elba.
Oh no, I was just going to bring that up.
Oh yeah.
They love him, or someone like if Morgan Spector's role, if he could definitely move into the top 6 of The Plot Against America.
No, I can certainly see Idris Elba benefiting from a bit of sympathy and attention and visibility. Plus, he's already been here before.
He's been nominated so many times. Come on. Either award him at this point or stop nominating him for Luther.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't think that, but okay.
That's my feeling about this at this point. Either award him or stop nominating him.
Yeah, it sort of feels like filler at this point, like kind of how it felt like with Benedict Cumberbatch with Sherlock almost, but then they actually did give him a win.
That's what I was just thinking until they pulled the plug on it and said, all right, fine. HBO has a lot in this category, like unnervingly so. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. They have a lot.
Jeremy Irons is not going to get nominated for Watchmen. I think he's the. I don't think that one happens.
I think it's on the outside, but it's certainly a possibility.
It's a possibility because of who he is, but I would be a little surprised if that happened. But
I haven't been. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think people saw Watchmen. People talked about Watchmen. It became a thing. And I just don't feel like Regina King getting it and then Jeremy Irons getting snubbed really makes too much sense.
It makes sense to me because I think that Regina King is the series in a way that, like, if Jeremy Irons was in supporting, absolutely he gets in. I think he's in the wrong category.
Oh, I definitely don't. He has like 3 full episodes that are entirely his.
His episodes always bored me, so I'm a little. I was I'm like, what is he doing?
That may be the case, but he is a justified co-lead, and by having entire episodes to himself, he gets to, if he's nominated, he has a lot to choose from. And some great stuff to choose from. So
do they do that though with lead and limited series?
Shit, that's
they do.
Tapes?
Yeah. It's
not with the lead, with the supporting.
With supporting, that's right. Yeah, never mind.
Right.
Still.
Yeah.
That's right. We are in limited series, not drama series. Well. All right. I think we're good there. Let's go to supporting actress limited series. This is probably going to be a limited series podcast, by the way. I think that
feels like it.
Oh, we
I
can't
think
talk about
so.
Schitt's Creek?
Maybe a little bit. I'll see how long I can hold on. I'm sick. I probably have the Rona. So we'll see how far
Stop
we can.
drinking that beer.
All right. Limited series supporting actress. Let's go. This is a really, really good category too. It could be all Mrs. America women, but then you have Toni Collette, Jean Smart.
Tiffany Haddish for Self-Made. You never know.
Possibly. Sarah
Yeah.
Paulson because she's Sarah Paulson, obviously, but
Yeah, I would automatically just put her in the list. Jean Smart,
Yeah.
Toni Collette, Margot Martindale from Mrs. America also. And then you maybe have Rose Byrne or Patti LuPone. It gets up there.
this is also a pretty Oscar-friendly list too, with Melissa Leo, Emma Thompson, Allison Janney. There's yeah. I like
This is
this.
like the one award missing from Allison Janney's like supporting actress.
Oh my God. No
That's true.
kidding.
She needs this to finish the set.
No
sorry.
kidding.
Oh my god.
Wow, I can totally see that. Not winning. I don't think she's, but I have to see it first. But that would be really wild.
For her
if
to
she-
finish the set.
Yeah.
But actually it kind of gives me something to root for, where it's like, yeah, she's gonna finish the set of supporting.
I would just add that it would be nice to have Toni Collette on stage accepting an award.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
She's
you.
great, and she definitely I would God, it's so hard when you're first out of the gate, but then you've got Margot Martindale lurking. Now I
as
haven't
she
seen,
does.
I'm not saying it to be mean, but we haven't seen the series yet, so she might absolutely deserve to win, but she has won 2 Emmys for less than 3 minutes of screen time.
If she drinks
Combined.
if she drinks a cup of coffee in Mrs. America, I will peg her as the
over.
winner. It's over. She's winning.
No one drinks coffee like her, so you never know. You just really don't know. And you know what could help someone like Toni Collette is if all of a sudden all these people from Mrs. America get nominated, they could cancel themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, yeah, sure.
well, you get up there to the 4 and 5 nominees. It's really hard when you don't either have enough support yourself or you're not clearly the one.
It would depend on what configuration of actresses from that series were to make it in. I think that would be really important. If you had like Margot Martindale and Sarah Paulson and that's it, that might cancel each other out because they
Yeah.
are so both equally popular.
And you don't know what their roles are like, if they're both equally spectacular or maybe Rose Byrne breaks out. You never know. You
Playing
just
an
don't know
iconic
yet.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone's got to do something for playing Gloria Steinem since
Yeah.
the film version doesn't look, like that's going anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to see Winona Ryder get in. That would be great.
I think she could get in, and that's another name where like she's on TV, she's on 2 very different series. She could be the one like this. It's still early enough that someone could sneak in and take it. It doesn't have to be an Oscar. Well, she's an Oscar nominee, but
Yeah.
she's lived long enough to see her own movie be remade. So,
Yeah, no kidding.
hey, Saoirse, like your future? Like, no, I'm kidding. Okay.
Still, it's a good category. It's a lot of fun, but we
Yeah.
do have those unseen things yet, like Mrs. America and
Self-Made.
Hollywood. And Self-Made comes out
And
on March 20th. It's only 4 parts. It's short. I just published a review of it today, which is a mixed review, but we'll see how it's responded to.
I also would just throw out Hong Chow in Watchmen, even though it's not as likely. I think she's fantastic.
She's
so good in that.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
amazing.
And she would submit the finale where she is
Exactly.
just chewing the scenery and that.
Mhm.
I live for her.
Yes.
That was like, and Jean Smart, I mean, she has like an entire episode.
Yeah.
She's so brilliant.
And I
She's
keep
fun-
predicting Jean Smart to win Emmys, and then she never does.
Yeah.
At least that was true of Fargo.
Yeah. Well, Fargo has never won an acting Emmy, so
Yeah.
the good thing about Fargo being out of this is that it frees up at least between 3 to 4 spots for actors and actresses.
That's absolutely true because it would take up quite a few of those.
It would at least got Chris Rock in, and then you would have had one or two
Yeah,
or three in a supporting or another lead category. So it's definitely opened this race up a little bit.
it definitely did. Well, let's move over to supporting actor and
Who the
see.
hell knows?
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
this is honestly a crapshoot for me too.
Yeah.
it is. It is because it would make perfect sense for like the one main guy from Mrs. America to get in this massive amount of female contenders.
It would.
That makes
It would because it's easy for him to stand out.
It's like the opposite of Kim Basinger in LA Confidential.
It's like it's like Rachel McAdams in Spotlight. Like
Yeah.
she's the only woman.
Yeah. So I mean I'm not going to just say John Slattery is getting in, but I think it gives him a tremendous heads up above a lot of other people.
Chance
Yeah.
to make up that Emmy win.
And then we do have Courtney B. Vance potentially in or out because of whatever the outcome is of the finishing of Genius Aretha. If that doesn't finish, then that opens the spot.
I think this might be where we see the campaign for Donald Sutherland.
God,
I really think,
That would
wouldn't it
be
be
amazing.
lovely to finally, like, we've seen people successfully run this campaign recently where it's like, I've never won an award, I've never won an Emmy. So he might be in a really good position.
talk about somebody that
Especially-
should be able to go up on stage and get a damn award.
Yeah, exactly. And when you really think about the fact that we could have multiple people from Hollywood or multiple people,
Hmm.
Darren Criss, here he is again. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean that to be shady.
Well, I mean, you've got Dylan McDermott, you've got Joe Mantello, I mean, Darren Criss, you've got a lot of people. Jim Parsons, he's not hurting for an Emmy. So it could be a really good position, and depending on how, and HBO is, not a slack at campaigning, they could get him that award pretty easily.
Yeah, and this is by virtue of the same shows, a very HBO heavy category again.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we?
We'll see how it shakes out in the end, because a lot of these we have to wait and see.
Yes.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yes, Tim
I'm just
Blake
stunning.
Nelson.
I'm just standing for every Watchmen person at this point.
He's really great in that series.
Yes.
He
Speaking
might
of
not
a
be well known
fantastic
enough.
character actor,
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
don't.
might be the problem.
I don't think it would be a problem at all. That's exactly where television nominations can thrive for character actors. And he's not really up against any heavy hitters in the same way that the actress categories are, which also should tell you a lot that actresses, that have had great film success and Oscar success are also doing well in television, which is a bit of a double-edged sword, and it's not really the same for actors. You can be a character actor and you can be a non-A-lister and do extremely well in television as a male actor.
Yeah, I would look out in that case for John Turturro, who was in The Night Of, who's in The Plot Against America. He it's a wait and see with that also.
Yeah, again, it's only the first episode, and I did not ask for the screeners for this, which I should have. But he's great in that first episode. Extremely likable, I guess. Charming.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it could happen. Kind of the same thing with depending on how The Undoing is. Edgar Ramirez, maybe he's the story and not Donald Sutherland. We just don't know yet.
Yeah,
we're just hoping that Donald Sutherland's finally in his position to maybe finally, get some love.
Maybe everybody that jumped onto Netflix and rewatched Outbreak in the last couple of weeks will be reacquainted with Donald Sutherland in a different way.
Yeah. Mm.
And speaking of Watchmen, it's not like Don Johnson's not an unknown name. I mean, if they're gonna not, that might be the name they check off. It's unfortunately sometimes
If they only watch the first episode.
well, that's all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
They might just pop on the first one just to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Well, if he is nominated, he's got one episode to submit.
The one.
That would be too bad if it was him instead of Tim Blake Nelson,
But the good thing about them is that they didn't do that with Ted Danson in season 2 of Fargo. They went a little further down, and Bokeem Woodbine and Jesse Plemons got in instead.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not just checking off names. That's the good thing for everyone.
Speaking of Jesse Plemons, he's also a possibility here.
Oh God.
For El Camino.
Not going to happen.
In a role that he's already played.
Not going to happen.
He's a multiple Emmy nominee now.
He is. You're so definitive, Amanda. It sounds like me, how I used to be.
Remind me how many actors from Twin Peaks got nominated.
That's a very different situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the connection is between the two.
That is a very avant-garde.
They're both in the limited series. They're both, they don't like remakes. They don't seem to really like these revivals. And that movie was not exactly the greatest thing we've ever seen.
No, it didn't light anything on fire, for sure.
So it could just be, okay, that happened. Okay, let's go on.
It's also a TV movie in the middle of all of these limited series.
Yeah. He has to do enough to stand out in 5 to 10 minutes in what some people have 5 to 10 episodes.
Sure. And one thing I'm kind of thinking about now is that we kind of talk about whether it's the Oscars or the Emmys of do these voters actually watch shows, and how does this performance or this series constantly get snubbed because it's not watched. People are at home. There's going to be a lot more time to watch things, depending on how long this goes on. So,
Well, if I'm stuck in my house for 5 months, I'm going to go friggin' crazy. So
yes, I think most people would, but this is the golden age of binging now.
Yeah. It does make you wonder if, unlike what happened with the Oscars, where they nominated 4 movies for 10 nominations each and excluded so many, we might have a possibility where we get all kinds of shows now that people are just watching because they don't have anything else to do. All these Emmy voters who just pawn off their screeners to their assistants or whatever.
Like Schitt's Creek. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
the ultimate feel-good TV, Schitt's Creek. So
it is, and I am gonna yes, we will talk about Schitt's Creek. I do have to cut the podcast short because I'm just not feeling well and I don't want to end up coughing through the next 15 minutes. But yes, we are going to do a comedy series podcast and a drama series podcast. But Amanda, you can make whatever plea you want right now for Schitt's Creek. Go right ahead.
It is the loveliest series. It's having a great final season. And I think look out for it. I mean, Catherine O'Hara's SAG Award nomination, on top of the ensemble, tells you so much. Because it's not always winning that's important. Sometimes it's just being invited to the party. Julia Garner will tell you all about that last year. So she could be in a very good position to potentially win this. Eugene Levy's in a good position because he doesn't have to worry about Bill Hader. Things could be lining up for that series, and they could have a big, big Emmy haul.
I think you're absolutely right. I think the absence of some things is exactly what could bring Schitt's Creek to the top.
And Dan Levy and Annie Francis, I think they're in a really good position because we see so many without Barry there, that knocks out half of their competition for supporting actor.
I would like the entire cast to get nominated. That would be the best thing, but I really, really want Annie Murphy to
Annie
get
Murphy.
in so bad.
I know.
And since that category has like 8 nominations sometimes, come on. You can
Her
do
Has
and
the past 2
Darcy
years.
Carden both need to be nominated. I swear to
You
God,
can
I'm
do
going to be
it.
like,
You can do it, Emmys.
Oh my God.
and you know that the season finale, the series finale, will probably be their writing and their directing nomination. So I'm just waiting to see what Dan Levy has up his sleeves for that, because I know it's going to be brilliant.
And they're doing
I'm
some like big live after party thing after the thing. Yeah, so it's a big deal. They're really pulling out all the stops for it, and I'm really glad that they are.
yeah,
But yeah,
I'm
Totally
very
co-sign that.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
very excited.
I am too. And I promise we will
Stars
do
are aligning.
yes, we will do full podcasts for each section so that we can go more into it, because there's a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But any final thoughts or anything about either the limited series category or anything else from you guys today?
I mean, I've got all the time in the world if you weren't sick. So,
I said final thoughts, Amanda.
no, I mean, it's going to be a fun Emmy race. They have no reason to cancel it because enough television is aired. They're way too far into the season. So,
I think the only worry of cancellation would be the inability to congregate. I think that's the only thing that would stand in the way.
well, they can still have the Emmys without having a ceremony. So,
I
Just
mean,
have
the
a
Golden
press
Globes did
conference,
it that
like
one
the
year
Golden Globes. Yeah,
because of the
exactly.
writers' strike, but that was not fun.
I mean, it wasn't.
And the
fun,
Razzies just
but,
did it.
Mm.
The Razzies just,
well,
you know,
now we all have a reason.
Isn't that
to
what they
watch
just do
Cats.
anyway?
well, they actually have a ceremony,
Okay.
but they couldn't this year when, oh, poor cats.
Yes. Poor cats.
Poor cats.
Now available for rental.
Yes, but
But now that I have nothing to do with my life and can't go anywhere, I might actually get around to watching it.
you
Do
should.
it.
You really, really should.
I do need to go to the liquor store before they close those.
You absolutely need to do that.
Yes.
I was 6 drinks in watching this in the theater.
I was stone cold sober. So
I
take
have
that.
wow, I don't even know what that would be like.
Exactly.
That's very scary.
Exactly.
When I was in the hospital for a surgery, I saw Ricky and the Flash, and I thought it was like the greatest movie ever. I was like, this is the
Aw.
greatest movie Meryl Streep has ever made.
Oh.
Wow.
On pain medication, my taste is subject. So,
Obviously. Yeah.
yeah. And
All
when
right.
the girl playing her daughter looks so much like her. They did a great job casting. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
that is her daughter.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Okay, all right. I think that's boy, this is a very short podcast. And
No,
it is
come on, we
what
gotta
it
keep
is.
this up, something to listen to.
I'm just trying not to die over here. All right.
Okay.
Well, Amanda, thank you.
Do you
Kevin,
want to name
thank
your
you.
successor?
What? My
Do you want to name your
successor?
successor just in case something happens?
This
Jesus,
suddenly turned
Amanda.
into Succession.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse
Yes,
me,
it's not
Shiv.
going Kevin.
I'm not going anywhere, Amanda. And you'll never be in charge.
Dad.
I'm gonna have to release some emails on Twitter then. But
Oh, God. Anyway, yes. Okay, come on. I can't laugh.
I'm
I
with
can't
you.
laugh. You see, you're killing me, Amanda. I know what's happening here. All right. Yes. Thank you
Across the
both.
country.
Thank you both. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Amanda, where can people find you on the internet?
At Mrs. Amanda Spears on Twitter and Instagram.
And Mr. Kevin, where can people find you?
At Kevin_Jacobsen. That's SEN, not SON.
Yes, SEN. And Kevin, oh my God, I totally forgot to introduce you at the top and the runner-up is, so please tell people about that as well.
Sure, yes. Well, podcast where we talk about the presumed Best Picture runners-up of each Oscar year, going all the way back through Oscar history. I'm currently in the 40s and I'm going backwards, so we're almost done. Eric has been on many times. Amanda has been on many times. So
Yes.
if you like this banter, you can have plenty of bingeable listens.
And
Some of us have been on recently to do it again, apparently.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
I like to space it out.
yes, and as I have said before, I don't think that there is a better or more fun or more interesting podcast series than this. If you love movies, if you love the Oscars, there is nothing better than And the Runner-Up is. It is so much fun. It's the
Well,
best.
thanks, Dad.
Oh my
Each
God.
guest brings something different to it, so it's fun.
Yes.
I like doing it.
That's the best part. It's please listen, follow, subscribe, all of it. It's the best. And
Thanks.
you can find me at awardswatch.com, on Twitter at awards_watch, and just awardswatch on Instagram. And please stay tuned for more upcoming episodes of the Emmy podcast that will feature comedy series, drama series, and a lot of shit talk. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.